All right, our next speaker, there she is. You were missing just a second ago. Michelle Darnell is running for 48th District Representative.
Thank you so much. Give me a few moments. It takes me a little bit to warm up, but wind me up and watch me go. Thank you so much to each and every one of you who are out here today. It tells me a lot. Now, I want to ask that you go out and canvass your neighborhoods. Raise your hand if you've done any doorbelling. Okay, I should see a lot more hands than that. That's not even 3%, guys. Come on. This campaign cycle is critically important. Not just because this issue right here, but let me tell you, it's like whack-a-mole with the issues. It's a challenge for candidates, frankly, to keep on top of the issues. We've got education, in my district, we've got the transportation issue, and of course, we've got this issue that we're all out here for today. This one probably is ultimately the most critical. So I would encourage all those folks that didn't raise their hands, take an hour a week, find out who your candidate is in your district that you can support, and give them a little bit of time, because that's how we win. That's right. And we need to win. Yeah. And never underestimate the power of a small group of committed individuals to change the world, because in fact that's the only thing that ever has. That's Margaret Mead. My name is Michelle Darnell. I'm running for state rep in the 48th. That's Bellevue, Redmond, Kirkland. I affectionately call it the Fighting 48th. It's awfully blue. I'm trying to turn it purple. I'm running Libertarian. And there's a reason for that. I ran Republican in 2014. And what I've heard over and over is, we kind of like what you have to say, but we can't quite vote Republican. So, frankly, I don't care what the color of the jib is, so long as the vessel gets me where I want to go. So, I'm running Libertarian. I'm happy to say that I'm endorsed by some wonderful Republicans, Bill Bryant being one of them, Marty McClendon, another, and Steve McLaughlin. I have no problem working with like-minded individuals of any cloth. So, I tell you, I'm going to piggyback off what Graham just said, that I feel really safe. I was thinking on my way here, I'm just a mom from Ferndale, frankly. I've got 4 kids, 3 credits shy of an AA, and I woke up about 8 years ago and went, what the heck is going on? I did not have 4 kids to inherit this mess. So, God pulled me out of the kitchen and threw me out, So I've been kind of traveling that path for the last 8 years or whatnot. So anyway, last night I'm thinking, I'm running for office. I'm one of those dreaded politicians now. I probably got a target on my back. And I'm going up to Olympia today, right after what happened in Burlington. And I'm thinking, I'm a little scared maybe. Then I walked up here and I saw you all. I'm like, I'm in the safest place in this state today. Because the best protection against a bad guy with a gun is a trained good guy or gal with a gun. Right. And that's the end of my speech. No, just kidding. Article 1, Section 24 of the Washington State Constitution talks about the right to bear arms. The right of the individual citizen to bear arms in defense of himself or the state shall not be impaired. Well, folks, there's currently an effort to impair the individual's right to protect themselves. Now, I happen to be a foreclosure defense paralegal. I've been fighting the banks for, 6-7 years. And I'm not going to put my tin hat on today, but let me tell you, there's some things that scare the heck out of me. And a gentleman here earlier, I'm sorry, sir, what was your name again? Bob Bozar. Yeah, I've seen your name many times. When he talked about the financial situation, what's going on, I definitely think it's relevant. John F. Kennedy said, when nonviolent revolution is made impossible, violent revolution is inevitable. I don't think there's any mistake that we're seeing sort of the uprising going on. And I think there are some that recognize that would like to strip our ability to protect ourselves from that. So this effort is seemingly, in a response, the effort to take away our right, is seemingly particularly in a response to recent school shootings and mass shootings around our country. However, it is an improper knee-jerk response, though I would argue maybe an intentional response. And it will serve no real purpose and may, as you all probably know, cause harm. Additionally, is one that serves as a distraction from the real cause of these horrific incidents around our country. The real issue we should be addressing, frankly, is mental illness and some of the other ills in our society. And those are related to some of the other issues that we talk about, maybe education, the economic impact on families, but I'm not here to talk about those today. Check out my website, michelleforthehouse.com. You can see my opinions on those. The violence in our society is a problem, but guns are not the only tools of violence. Admittedly, supporting these feel-good measures, like those to make it more difficult to get weapons, garnish votes, but they do nothing to address the real crisis. Further, they potentially cause more harm than good, and they will make it more difficult for law-abiding citizens to protect themselves, if necessary, from a threat. Frankly, the only one that will have a gun are the bad guys. Admittedly, there are some in our society that do harm with guns. That's a truth. And there's people in the society who harm with, what are they? The pressure cookers? Come on. There are people that would cause harm no matter what weapon they had at their disposal. And if they want a gun, no paperwork is going to keep them from it. There are laws already in place to prosecute those individuals. And just a side note, this isn't in my speech, I work in a law firm, and we have situations where, the wheels in the courts run really, really slow. So imagine you're in a situation where you need to protect yourself immediately. And so that's a concern of mine, particularly in DV cases and so on and so forth. There are already laws in place to protect individuals. Frankly, we send the wrong message by posting gun-free zone at our schools, announcing for all to see that our children are unprotected. To me, I don't know. Like I say, I'm a girl from Ferndale. What do I know? But it makes no sense to me. It's kind of like putting a sign up there saying, hey, fish in a barrel. Frankly, I'd like 1 in 5 on that campus to be trained, and trained is an important aspect, and armed to protect our kids. I don't think that any one of the recent tragedies would have been prevented by any of the anti-gun legislation, though it does make us feel better, or some feel better, that we're doing something. But with reports of the increasing threat of domestic terrorism, our porous borders, and the recent shooting in Burlington, this measure could cause more harm than good, and it makes it difficult for citizens to arm themselves quickly. The only defense against a bad guy with a gun, as I said earlier, is a good guy trained with a gun. We need more armed and trained citizens at large, in my opinion. It should also be noted that our forefathers did not protect the right to bear arms in an effort to enable us to shoot squirrels or even protect our doorstep. They had just come off the American Revolution, and the threat of tyranny was still very fresh in their minds. They knew that people needed the ability to defend themselves against any threat, even the threat of their own government. More recent history indicates that this protection may still be prudent. Ben Franklin said that when security is traded for liberty, we deserve neither, especially if it's a false sense of security. This is why I will not support an effort to disarm Americans or people in this state. But I am in favor of increased efforts to voluntarily train Americans in responsible gun safety and use of firearms. Note I said voluntary. I would like to talk, as a representative, I don't actually think it's my role to have all of the answers. Some up here seem like they want to rule rather than represent. My role, I see when I'm elected, is to represent the interests of those in my community and those in the state at large that are like-minded. And so we have some problems here. And so what I would want to do is facilitate the conversation about how we can actually solve this problem. I'm thinking, and this is just, pulling it out of the hat here, I'm thinking we've got some veterans that would be more than happy to set up clinics voluntarily and train citizens so they could, so they would be equipped to protect themselves in their community. Can you raise your hand if that sounds like a good idea? Can we talk about that? Maybe that's the proper response. I tend to think so. So anyway, I'm going to wrap it up here. Some of the speakers before me said, we really need your help. Running a campaign, it looks glorious. It's not. It's really, really hard. I work full-time too, and this is kind of a rich man's sport. So I work in a law firm, so I don't flip burgers for a living. So I really, really, really need your help. I don't care if, some people say, well, focus on your district. I want the whole state talking about my campaign, and frankly, I really don't care where the money comes from. I need to convert voters in my district. In the primary, there was a 16% voter turnout. Folks, that's abysmal. And that's, I'm looking at the Republicans there. I'm saying, what are you doing? So we need boots on the ground. One of the reasons I'm running for office is because I don't want to see a violent revolution. I don't like seeing what I see in my streets. Our forefathers gave us the opportunity for a non-violent revolution. And what is that? Our vote. It's very powerful. A lot of people think that your vote doesn't matter. A lot of people think that, our activities up here in Olympia, lobbying and whatnot, don't matter. Well, let me give you a little secret. Us politicians, we care about two things. We care about money, and we care about re-election. So, I'm telling you, you guys have more power than you think. And apathy and complacency are enemies of justice and freedom. And I understand that I'm speaking to the choir a little bit here today because you guys took a nice sunny day to come out here. But you need to go this week, every week, talk to 5 people. And I'm not saying hit them over the head because a lot of people are still on milk and can't eat the steak. Figure out a way to find some commonality and come and change hearts, and then you can change minds. This is really up to you guys. It really is. And this is a critical, critical election. We're talking about gun rights here today, but let me tell y'all, McCleary, they want to respond with an income tax, a capital gain tax, increase in the property tax, and that's another type of power and control. So it's on you guys right here, and on us, of course, to really get out into your community. Raise your hand if you're in the 48th. Any 48ers here? That's okay, I'll still take your money. But anyway, if you have any Facebook friends, spread the word. Spread the word. But do not just be a Facebook warrior. Talk to your neighbors, heck, you probably get this, I like to talk. So I talk at the gas station, I talk at the grocery store. We are political evangelists, folks, and we can do this. We really can. Thank you so much. I've gone on a little too long. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being up here. And vote Michelle Darnell, State Rep 48, and tell everybody else too. And Marty and Bill Bryant too. Thank you.